going to go over how to fill your anaesthetic vaporizer with isoflurane. So this can be really intimidating, say if you're doing it for the first time or you're using a different machine, because sometimes they can vary, but I'm going to show you how to fill our Vet 7 vaporizer. So your isoflurane will usually come with a bottle like this with a lid like this. So I need to transfer the lid off and I need to put the keyhole adapter on. This is going to allow us to deliver the isoflurane to the vaporizer through a safety mechanism. To do safely, you probably should always wear a mask for this because it is an inhalant, and if you do inhale it, it's got anesthetic properties to it obviously, and it also can make you feel really sick, very nauseous kind of very quickly. So that's why we always need to be very, very careful. I wouldn't kind of do this from a very high height as such, because if you've got more chances of dropping this bottle, smashing it, isoflurane goes everywhere, it's a hazard. You need a spill kit, you know, like a hazardous kit to clean that up straight away. To remove the lid, just like a normal kind of water bottle as such, removing the lid, wearing your mask, and I want to place my keyhole adapter. So it has a special adapter so that it only allows to deliver from the isoflurane to the machine when you're using this kind of lid adapter. So you're going to connect up, it's got a couple of connectors here that adapts appropriately, and we're just going to twist that on so it's nice and locked in place there. It's not going to come off and it's not loose at all. Now I'm going to fill my anesthetic machine with isoflurane. So a couple of things that we need to look at on the vaporizer just before we begin is I want to make sure that my vaporizer is turned off. It's not trying to deliver any kind of percentage of that isoflurane through. These are blocked at the moment, but this would be attached to your anesthetic machine and be attached to your breathing circuits. So I just want to make sure that this is on 0. You can see on this one you've got your volume percentage, and how we would turn this on is press this button in and twist to the percentage that you want to be delivered to your patient. It goes all the way up to 5, just as standard, but this one is nice and incremented, so you can do it in smaller amounts instead of, like I've seen them before and they just go to 1, 2, 3. You can actually kind of teeter it down to tiny patients on this one. So I want to make sure that my 2 arrows are lining up here and that is not turned on. Next step, I'm going to look down here. You can see in our little indicator here that this vaporizer is totally empty. I will be able to tell when it's kind of half full, it's got any kind of isoflurane in this machine at all. I'll see this fill up. What we want to do is fill it up right to the top. I never want to see this less than half full. So if your isoflurane gets down to half full, fill it. Because if you have a vaporizer that is half full and you go into an anesthetic, say you kind of estimate that anesthetic, that surgery is going to take half an hour, there's complications and whatnot, that surgery takes a lot longer. Not saying that you will use all this, but there's a case that you could have that patient under anesthetic for a long time. You're going to use a lot more isoflurane. If this runs out, then you're running into troubles whilst you've got that patient under anesthetic. I do not believe that you should be refilling your vaporizer whilst you have a patient under anesthetic. This is kind of something you should kind of make a priority at the start of every day. You know, assign this to your surgery nurse or someone that's doing those anesthetics at the start of every day, making sure that your isoflurane is full. Always keep that full. It is empty at the moment, so this is going to be, I could be able to show you how it fills. It is a slow fill because it is kind of going through this key connector, but I will show you exactly how we do that. What we need to do to attach this to our vaporizer to deliver the isoflurane, there's a couple of steps here. So first of all, it's got on here we need to loosen. So this is locking our key in place. So I need to remove this key to insert this end. But that is, at the moment, you can't pull that out at all. That is locked in place by this. So to loosen that, I'm going to turn that to, and it doesn't, like, it's not a screw, it doesn't loosen a lot. And so now this is going to become loose and I can pull my key out. A couple of things with this key is, so how I'm going to be able to tell I'm going to line these up accordingly because they have to fit securely. There is a key to them. So when I look at this key that I've pulled out, on the bottom it's very faint, but there is an indent of a few circles. And when I look right in here as well, I can see circles in the base. So when I'm looking at my key filler, you can see the holes that are on the base of this side of the key. So those 2 circles are going to have to face down to connect with those on the inside. That's how we're delivering the isoflurane to the vaporizer. So I want to line those up, and so the 2 holes on the bottom to the 2 holes on the bottom of here. So I want to place that in, and we want to make sure that this is inserted nice and snug, not halfway, not a quarter way. We want it in the full way. So insert, and that is nice and snug in there. You can see it's not kind of hanging out like this, because that won't work. That's not going to deliver it to the anaesthetic machine appropriately. So I want this to be inserted the whole way. This is very difficult with one hand. And so now, so that looks like it's all right. Then it's all kind of sitting in there perfectly. One thing here is this: if I were to tip this bottle up now, like you were just kind of delivering it, it is not going to deliver to the vaporizer because I haven't tightened this back up again. So this needs to be locked back in place. And now when I go to remove this key filler, it won't remove at all. It is nice and secure in there. Only then, when that is secure, that I want you to tip this bottle up and this isoflurane will pour into the vaporizer. So how we do that is making sure, just triple checking that everything is connected. And I want to pull this bottle up like this. And I can see bubbles coming up in this bottle, and it is being delivered to the anaesthetic machine. This just takes a little bit of time, especially because it is a fresh canister. You can see bubbles still going, so I know it's still pouring in, but it hasn't kind of shown up here just yet. That is because we're going from an empty isoflurane vaporizer. So we'll give it a minute while that kind of fills. I can see from here that that is starting to fill up. It'll just take a minute. And now we can kind of see it. You can see it just starting to rise. You can see that there. It's about a quarter of the way now, but I want it the whole way. Not completely up to the top, but I want it to the top blue line there. It's a bit over halfway now, and as you can see, it's taken almost the whole bottle. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how much the vaporizer can hold. Nearly at the bottom. If you are nervous about putting isoflurane into your vaporizer, I would always make sure that you have someone around just to kind of, even if you just say, hey, can you just watch me whilst I do this, just to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. If you do that a couple of times, then you'll get more confident with it, that someone can watch you doing it, and then they can go, oh, hang on, you haven't done this or this, just to alleviate the risk of an accident happening, a spill happening, or, you know, it being done incorrectly. There's no harm in asking for a little bit of help or a little bit of guidance. If you want to see other videos like this one, make sure you write some suggestions in the comments below, and make sure that you subscribe.